Hi everybody, this is Joffrey, and I'm here to finish up the three-part series on the structure of the Innocence Missions album, We Walked and Song. This album came out a little over 2 years ago. They're on the verge of releasing another one, and so I figured I'd better get this out before they release the next one. So We Walked and Song. You can follow links to part one, which is an introduction to the album, and an introduction to the idea of chiasms, maybe an overlong introduction to the idea of chiasms. The second video, we went through every single song and the basic theme of each song. So if you're not particularly familiar with this album, but you're intrigued by the Innocence Mission, check out that video first, then come back to this. And with this video, we're going to go ahead and just talk about the overarching structure of We Walked in Song. Now, once again, when it comes down to a chiasm, the structure of a chiasm is something like A, B, B, A. And A brackets B because B is in the middle. The emphasis of that structure is on the middle. So it's not necessarily on the classic plot line. The climax is near the end and then there's some sort of resolution, but rather that everything flows both before and after from this middle. And it doesn't have to be simply an X shape or an ABBA shape. Of course, it can be much extended, but also the central idea can be single. So it could be something like A, B, C, B prime, A prime. So there's one song in this album that is the central song. And that's the song for Tom. So the contention is that this album is all about and focused on how the writer, Karen Paris, deals with the death of her father. And so what I'm going to do is lay out a couple broad sketches and then get more specific with the correlations to kind of show that it is in fact a chiasm. If a song for Tom is the central song, the central idea, then the songs that precede a song for Tom, which are Brotherhood of Man, Happy Birthday, Love That Boy, Into Brooklyn Early in the Morning, and Lakeshore Drive, those songs are all the life songs, introduced by the first song, Brotherhood of Man, which we saw is about the nature of God and the nature of human life, of the Brotherhood of Man. So that's the life half. Then there's the song about the father, who is now dead. All the songs that come after Song for Tom are the death songs. Since I Still Tell You My Everyday, A Wave is Rolling, Colors of the World, Over the Moon, My Sister's Return from Ireland. Those are all the death songs. And the last song, as we saw in the previous video, is a song about heaven, about clouds, about not knowing, about being afraid of what will come. So that's the death song. And everything after a Song for Tom leading into My Sister's Return from Ireland is somehow connected to death. So, life on one side, death on the other, focusing in on the life and death of Tom and on a Song for Tom. More specifically, since with a chiasm of this sort of complexity, you need that A prime, B prime, all the way into the central idea. I'm actually going to go ahead and list each song in that first and last, second penultimate sort of structure and lay out the basic ideas so that you can see how loose or how tight each song relates and whether I have any ground to stand on this whole chiastic structure thing. So the first song on the album is called Brotherhood of Man. You see the Trinity in it, girl and light, Jesus and human, and you're introduced to the loss of her father. My Sister's Return from Ireland is about cloud and heaven. There's cloud with the last person she speaks to in Brotherhood of Man, probably Jesus, coming down through clouds on the way. And then there are clouds. She's going into the clouds. She doesn't know what's in them. It's cloud light. It's hard to see through in My Sister's Return from Ireland. So, life and death directly, but also clouds connect. With the Brotherhood of Man, the one who understands is coming down through clouds. In My Sister's Return, the sisters are coming back with a message. They can tell her about heaven, about what's beyond. So that's A and A prime. B and B prime are happy birthday on the life side. Happy birthday is about the feminine nature. It's about rest and peace. It's about being cared for. B prime is over the moon. I'm over the moon. I'm at rest. I can't be held in this life, but I'm at rest. So the moon, feminine nature, obviously. So happy birthday and over the moon, B and B prime. Feminine nature, both in life and death. Love that boy and colors of the world are C and C prime. On the life side, love that boy is about masculine nature. I love that boy and he is my friend. The boy is her son. But then in the colors of the world, the colors are seen as I travel far from home. The separation trauma, I am growing and leaving you of love that boy. Now the singer is the one who travels far from home. I met you far from home. I saw the beautiful colors of the world. You are a friend of mine is a lyric in there. So I love that boy. He is my friend in C. In C prime, you are a friend of mine. So the boy suddenly becomes Jesus. The boy is Christ. So on the life side, the boy is her son. He grows up before her eyes. On the death side, she travels far and she meets Jesus and sees the beautiful colors of the world. D and D prime are into Brooklyn early in the morning and a wave is rolling. The lyric that we said was the theme of Into Brooklyn is beautiful life full of grieving. And again, it's beginning to approach a central song, so full of grieving becomes introduced. Its correlate on the death side is a wave is rolling. And it says that there are beautiful days. There's beauty and there are days and beautiful things I see that I can never understand. And will the time of mistakes ever end? So on the life side, it's a beautiful life, but it's full of grieving. And then on the death side, on the sublime side, there are days I can never understand because they are so beautiful, but they are full of grief and mistakes. And will that ever end? Finally, E and E prime, Lakeshore Drive, and Since I Still Tell You My Everyday. Lakeshore Drive, the I am, the being, the existence was a central idea. And I think of you in this sad day out. Since I Still Tell You My Everyday, in this song we are apart, and you are dead. You see us, and so we're still with you, but you are dead. I still tell you my everyday. So I am, you are not. But still, there's life somehow. I still speak to you, and you still see me. So I live, you are dead. And that leads into the central song for Tom, speaking to the dead father, with lyrics like, we walked in song, you'll never lose that light, the sacraments will lift us up, and it is coming down to you, dear Tom. So the album comes down to Tom. And you'll never lose that light, I think, is an important idea as well. There's the life side and there's the death side, but there's resurrection. There's never losing that light throughout the entire album. So you can map the album from first song to last song. Life all the way through the trauma and drama of dealing with the death of a father until you get to heaven and to redemption. But you can also map it in this chiastic way, which I think is much more significant. And it really emphasizes how the whole thing just wheels and revolves around her father who is dead, her father who lives. So there you have it, chiastic structure of We Walked in Song. I hope that if you don't own this album, you go ahead and you pick it up. I know I can't stock it anymore. It's gone. I believe that they can get it for you at theinnocencemission.com, certainly on iTunes, so check it out. The Innocence Mission, We Walked in Song. Buy it. Dig the thought that they put into this beautiful little piece of art. And thanks for watching this whole thing.